And what is going on, everybody? Episode 74 of the We Are Family Pittsburgh Sports Podcast. Jake Bell, Pirate P, and Nathan Shivens here for a jam-packed episode, as always, of the We Are Family Pittsburgh
Well,
Sports Podcast.
It's
We're jam.
jam-packed,
Well,
Peyton.
it's
It's
jam-packed. It's
jam-packed.
it's going to be a little bit shorter, maybe. I mean, we always say these episodes
we
are
always
gonna be
say it will
shorter
be, and then we
than
go on other
longer.
things that we weren't even prepared to talk about. But
Yeah,
you never
so
know.
we will we'll be cognizant of that. But before we get into anything, make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video, like our content if you like our content, and follow us on our social medias on X, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere you can find us. We got a link tree in our description, and so make sure you check all of those out. We're gonna continue pumping out the content and some shorts and everything related to this episode here. But gentlemen, let's get right into it. Pittsburgh Pirates, what are they now? 29 and 28. They split
Correct.
with the Chicago Cubs after taking the first two games of the four-game series. You're thinking, oh, we got Skeens going. The fourth game, got to take 3 of 4, and they hark back. The last couple starts, they've harkened back to the 2025 Pirates in giving Skeens no run support against average pitchers. Colin Ray obviously dominated the Pirates. Not dominated, but he shut them down yesterday. And the Pirates bullpen imploded for a second straight game, and the Pirates have to accept a split in the series, and now they take on the fighting Derek Sheltons and the fighting Josh Bells of the Minnesota Twins, who just lost 3 of 4 to the Chicago White Sox. And so Pirates, they just can't seem to get kind of over the hump here, away from 500. They've just been perpetually
because that's what
around
they
500. But I mean, it is what they are. I mean, they are a 500 team. They've been a 500 team really all year, and in large part due to this bullpen. And we're not going to get too much into the Johan Ramirez's and the Justin Lawrences of the world here. We
We've
did
already
that
just- yeah.
extensively last episode, and our arguments are even more firm now, and our beliefs are more firm now after Johan Ramirez blew a game and Justin Lawrence did his thing as well. They actually, I think, did Johan Ramirez pitch yesterday too, or I can't remember, but
I don't know. He
I
didn't.
yeah, I was gonna say, if he did, I'd be shocked.
they
It was
pitched him.
Unless the game was
Benoit who
outraged.
screwed it up
That's right, it was
yesterday.
Benoit,
I
yeah.
know, my guy too. I mean, he
Well,
was due to have a bad game.
Yeah, I was seeing like his FIP was like 7, and like
Yeah.
but his ERA was like 2, so it was like he was
He
due for
throws
some
hard.
regression.
I mean, there's something to work with there, but you
Mhm.
can't have him in a close game yet. I mean, you don't have the, and that's where the Pirates are. I mean, you could blame Don Kelly, and I kind of do yesterday. Like, I feel like you got to maybe put Benoit in first, then put the more reliable option in Montgomery second, if you're gonna, pitch those guys. But right now, they have 3 reliable options, and they're all left-handers. Obviously, you have Montgomery and Soto, and Evan Sisk. And I love Evan Sisk, but when he's one of your only 3 good options in the bullpen, you have serious issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And really, I mean, the best pitchers for this team are all lefties too, which we've talked about. Which is something going into the season. We were like, the Pirates. You'd love to see them add. They added Soto, but add even more than on the lefty side. But now, Mason Montgomery has been a real bright spot. And Evan Sisk has been a real bright spot for this bullpen as lefties. But
I also
Yeah,
do
and-
want to mention, people are
Go
saying
ahead.
we don't have any right-handed options right now. Obviously, Dennis Santana has been struggling. They're literally throwing him into blowout games right now just to try and get him back on track. So he's currently not a reliable option in close games, at least according to the Pirates and according to what we've seen recently. But a guy who's really looked good is Wilbur Dotel. But they've been using him only in like to pitch like 3 innings. So like obviously on Monday he helped close out that game, but then he's not available for 3 or 4 days. So with Mlodzinski going to the bullpen, and we'll get into him, but
Yeah.
Mlodzinski going to the bullpen, maybe they can use Wilbur Dotel in like 1 to 2 inning situations, so that way he can be used more often. Because we can't be worrying about how right now about how Wilbur Dotel's a starter in the minors, so we need to keep him going on a starter's pace. We don't have time to worry about that. Okay, because you're going to be moving Mlodzinski into a high leverage. Donnie Kelly said a high leverage bulk high leverage bulk option. That's what Mlodzinski's going to be. So he's going to throw 2, 3, maybe 4 innings, right? So you can't have Dotel and Mlodzinski doing that both at the same time, in my opinion, because again, you don't have enough options to do that.
No, I agree. And with Dotel, I think he profiles more as a reliever anyway. I mean, obviously he's going to have to be in long relief because he is the only long relief option since they sent Barco down, but until obviously Jones is back, whatever. But before then, Dotel was the only long
Right.
relief option. But I would like to see him more in shorter innings just so you can pitch him more throughout the week, because if you pitch him 3 innings one day, he's not going to pitch for another 3 4 days probably. So at least you have the option if you want to make him a short reliever, assuming Mlodzinski plays more of a long relief role, unless they feel that he has to be in the back end of the bullpen because how unreliable it is, maybe make him an eighth inning guy. But I don't know. It's interesting to see that. And I mean, Dotel has the stuff, I think, to profile as a really good reliever. So I hope that they continue to feed him. And I know you don't want to put a rookie like him in a high leverage situation, but at the same time, like
Who else you got?
yeah, exactly. So like you might have to try while you're hovering around 500 until some of the injuries come back, or maybe Mlodzinski settled in as a reliever. Maybe Bubba Chandler can settle in. Like I feel like you're willing to take that risk and see what Dotel can do in a high leverage situation, because you never know. I mean, there's rookies that thrive in that role and then eventually become your closer. Like it's happened before. And I mean, if Dotel can just continue to have his confidence and his stuff continues to look good, I don't see why not try to make him a short inning reliever so you can have more flexibility pitching him more in the week.
I mean, you got to ride the hot hand. I mean, again, a lot of these guys that we have, are AAA guys. We don't really know what to expect out of them long term. Um, like this is what happened. But this is what happened with Matson last year. Kind of came out of nowhere and was a dominant force in that bullpen. So you just got to ride the hot hand and hope. I mean, he does. You're right, Jake. I mean, he has the stuff. I don't think his AAA numbers were outstanding, but again, he was a starting pitcher. So I mean, maybe he just translates better as a reliever. So we'll see what we get from him. Hopefully, this continues.
Yeah, the thing with Dotel is he didn't have good minor league numbers,
Nope.
right? But he has excelled so far in the major leagues. You're just hoping that he can be a bright spot and that he doesn't revert back to kind of what he was in the minor leagues, even this season with the Pirates. But he has been a bright spot. But you're just looking for anything at this point, and we've been saying it like Charrington. He kind of needs to be looking around like right now for bullpen options. And Peyton, you've mentioned this frequently, and it's a good point because he's been at his best with this bullpen, looking at waiver wire guys, right? Looking at guys who maybe have been passed over, and then the Pirates have kind of had success with them. I just don't know if that's the route you take this season, because you are in a playoff push. You're in a playoff push, and you're going to be a buyer at the trade deadline for the first time really in a while. And I know a couple years ago they bought, but they really didn't, because De La Cruz and IKF were negative players, especially De La Cruz. But they
Well, I
are
mean,
in a position. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, you were going. You were. I interrupted.
I don't. I was just gonna say like Charrington does need to. There needs to be some more aggression here in looking for some bullpen help, because it's not going to be getting better. It just isn't with this team, because there's
Honestly, trade Bart for a reliever.
hey, that's something they might be looking at. We don't know the timetable with Bart, but when he does come back, we talked about this last week, it does create that logjam. And you can't take Endy off of this team.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
he's
He's
hitting
been,
Nope.
well, and
he deserves to start at catcher.
he's drawn 10 walks. I don't know if he played. I don't think he played yesterday, but he's drawn 10 walks already. I mean, he's been here 2 weeks. It's just insane to me, his plate discipline. And I mean, pitchers are afraid of him apparently, and he's been calling good games behind the plate. And Henry Davis, he's hit a couple of homers. I don't know. But yeah, when Bart comes back, it does create that situation. Maybe a team looking for a catcher who can hit a little bit wants to trade a relief. But again, we'll just have to see. There's a lot of moving parts here in terms of what the trade deadline could look like. We're still very far out, but we know this is going to be an issue all season for the Pirates. Even if Santana returns to the form that he's had the last couple seasons with the Pirates, there's still not that depth there. There's still not enough depth in this bullpen. I do want to shift to talking about Jared Jones coming back because it's very exciting. Obviously, Bubba Chandler stays in the rotation at least for now, and you'd assume going forward still. But Mlodzinski going to move to the bullpen. We've reacted a little bit to in the past 12 hours or so to his when he was asked about what he thinks of being moved to the bullpen, and he kind of sounded like somebody who wanted to pack his bags. I mean, I got to be honest, like
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
I got to talk to my agent. I got to talk to my family. I got to talk to the the
Bye.
team. He was saying, and obviously we knew that he's wanted to be a starter. He's made that known to the Pirates. The Pirates have obliged, really, especially last season when he wasn't good. They still gave him that chance in the rotation. They moved him to the bullpen where he's been his whole career. Other than that, and he pitched really well. I have no doubt if they moved him, assuming he stays and he's in the pen, I have no doubt he'll do well, and he will provide another good arm to this bullpen. I think it's the right move to move him to the bullpen. If you're not going to do anything with Chandler, obviously, it's your only move. And I think he's got to grow up. Quite honestly, I don't like those comments like you're a part of the team. You're not. It's not about you. If there's 26 guys in that clubhouse, and they're all pulling to win this year. Right? You can see it. Some of the Ryan O'Hearn. He really wants to win this year. Obviously Reynolds has been here. Mitch Keller. They want to win. Paul Skeens. Everyone in that clubhouse wants to win. And when you say something like that, winning isn't your first priority. The way what you're saying, and so I didn't like those comments. I know you guys didn't really like those comments either. And you haven't been good enough to be in a position where you can be upset, about being moved to the bullpen. You haven't proven yourself enough. Even this last few weeks of him pitching well, he hasn't been striking people out. His FIP is a lot higher than what his ERA actually has been. I mean, he's been a slightly above average starter, this season. And so you're not in a position to dictate fully where you're going to be. And so that's all I'm going to say really about it. I think moving him to the bullpen, I hope Justin Lawrence is gone. That looks like the kind of obvious thing.
Or you get rid of the curse, Chris Davinsky, who's on IL. You could just dump him.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying you do that. I'm just saying that's what people are doing.
But I'm talking about
ever since that situation,
roster.
we have a losing record. So he's a curse in my opinion right now.
Well,
Get rid of both because they have to get rid of someone on the active roster. That's not on the IL.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm an idiot. Yeah, but see, I read you on Twitter.
Peyton, you take the floor. I'll go after you. This is your time to shine.
Yeah, floor is yours. Pirate Peyton Celesti, unload.
I gotta breathe because
let's do a breathing exercise.
This upset me very much. Yes, let's breathe. I do want to say, before I get into that, I do want to say what you said about trading Bart. To me, in a perfect world, Henry Davis is not on this team. because you have Endy Rodriguez, who's your really good defensive catcher, right? And he's hitting. And then you have Bart, who also hits. Now, he's not good defensively, but at least he hits.
Oh,
and Henry Davis.
I gotta step in. We have the
what
roster
happened?
move. We have the roster move.
Uh-oh.
As of the Pirates 20 minutes ago, Jared Jones reinstated from the IL. Justin Lawrence has been designated for assignment.
Wow.
Breaking news.
That is breaking.
DFA. DFA. DFA.
I've never heard DFA chants until this year. Never. I've never heard that in my life until this year. It's crazy.
Well, he was certainly deserving.
Yeah.
And
it's
God bless
wild.
the guy, but goodness gracious.
He'll find himself on a bad team that just wants to see if his stuff can translate with them. So I don't think this is the end of the road for Lawrence. I think he'll be fine.
But go ahead, Pirate Bay. I'm sorry.
So that's good news. I'll say
Yeah.
that's good news. We can get more into that, but in a perfect world, you have Endy Rodriguez, who's a catcher, who's your best defensive catcher and your starting catcher every day. And I feel like he can handle all the pitchers just as well as Davis can. And he's hitting, getting on base, etc. And then you have Bart as a backup who hits well against lefties, right? That would be, to me, and right now, that's the perfect world. But we know they're not going to do that because Davis is the number 1 overall pick. Him and Skeens and maybe another pitcher or two, that's their guy, right? So we know that that's not going to happen. So I agree with trading Bart for a reliever. Do anything you can to get a reliever. I did want to say that. Now, moving on to Carmen Mlodzinski. How can I have to be respectful. So, the best way I could put it, he's a bit of a fool for doing what he did last night. That's as nicely as I can put it. Let's look at this from his situation. All right, so obviously you've been put in the bullpen again. But you have to understand, the Pirates, at least from my understanding, they're putting him in a high leverage bulk role, which means, number one, he's still going to be on a starter schedule somewhat. Maybe not like every 4 days, but every 3 days, right? He'll probably pitch. Maybe every 4 days, depending, number one. Number two, if someone gets hurt in the rotation, and or if Bubba Chandler continues to put up crappy outings and can't command the zone, you could be right back in the rotation within the next couple of weeks. I'm saying that I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm saying that that's a possibility. An injury away or a Bubba Chandler complete just fall off the cliff like what's been going on with him. If that continues, right? I mean, I don't know how much longer they're going to put up with him. I mean, the Pirates have won 2 of his 11 starts. That's not a coincidence when we're talking about Bubba Chandler. So, I don't understand why you make such a big issue of it with the media for those reasons. But what makes me so angry about this, from the Pirates' perspective, is it proves all along what I had thought was right, which is that they had clearly obliged, as Nate said earlier, to what he wanted. Because what was best for the team was for him to be in this bullpen. In 2023 and 2024, whatever years it was, I mean, he looked like he was the next high-leverage guy. 1 or 2, he'd sometimes go 1 inning, sometimes he'd go 2 innings, though, because he had that starter background.
And his intensity showed, too.
Yeah, he's always looked like a reliever. He's always looked like a reliever, and I always think that's what's best for the team. And clearly, Carmen Mlodzinski wanted to do what was best for him, what he thought was best for him, and I understand that, but the Pirates allowed that to happen when it should have never happened in the first place. So, that's so irritating to me. And what really irritates me when it comes to Mlodzinski is this idea that, I have earned my place in the rotation. Congratulations, you've become an average to slightly above average starter. You were awful last year as a starter. and you're better this year. I'll give him that. He's improved, but he's at best a 4th or 5th starter. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, Pam Zaleski in the podcast.
Wow,
Let's go Bucks.
look at that.
Look at
Let's
this!
go, Bucks.
Wow, what a moment!
Thank you. Thank you. Interrupting a legendary thing right now, a legendary rant here, but I guess that makes it even more legendary. So what was I saying, guys? Where was I?
He's
I lost my train of
average
thought.
to above average starter. You're like,
Yes.
You said he improved from last year. Yeah.
He improved. I mean, there's no doubt. You got to give him credit, but to act like, I've earned my piece. I've earned, bro. Like Nate said, you're FIP. You're like, to me, his numbers as a whole haven't, I think they're better than what he's actually been.
He's
like
really
his
gotten,
ERA.
some innings,
His ERA a
barely
few
got
starts
by.
ago was like 5 something. So his ERA was in the 4s and the 5s a lot of this year. And I think the last couple of starts, I think that last start, he kind of got lucky. He had the bases loaded, nobody out. He's not striking many people out. I think sometimes his command has been iffy. I mean, I don't think he's totally earned anything. And I just think that's just incredibly arrogant on his part. And here's my hope, though. My hope is that he's so pissed about this that he goes and pitches his ass off in the bullpen, and he's outstanding. But if this is in his head so much that he's just like, oh, I don't give a shit, and now I'm gonna be terrible in the bullpen, and kind of have this nonchalant attitude, then we're gonna have a real problem. And I know Nate and I talked about this. We talking late last night. We're talking about trading Bart for a reliever. Well, if Mlodzinski is a problem in the media and a problem in the locker room, and Don Kelly doesn't want to deal with his ass, then you trade him to wherever, and you get some legitimate 1 to 2 inning relievers. Maybe you send Mlodzinski and a low A ball prospect for
5 first-round picks.
for a legit reliever right now, and maybe another reliever in the minor leagues who's on his way up. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that if Mlodzinski, if his attitude is going to be a problem. I wouldn't be opposed to that because, again, in this bulk reliever role, it seems like he's not going to be. To me, I would see him like I've always wanted to see him as a 1 to 2 inning guy out of the bullpen. That's how I've always wanted him to be, and that's still not happening. So, I mean, I feel like it would be useful if you could trade him for a guy who could be out there, every other day in close games. So, yeah, pretty frustrating situation.
And the thing about this as well is that Mlodzinski's so afraid of, I don't know when he's going to be in the open market, but whenever he is, if he's going to be so afraid it's going to hurt his value. I mean, look at some other cases, right? Whenever Seth Lugo,
Clay Holmes,
all of a sudden, Clay Holmes, that's a big one. Michael King, whenever he got traded. I mean, there's guys that will go to these other teams and then they become a starting pitcher. And I have no doubt that whenever Mlodzinski goes into the open market, there's going to be, a couple teams that are willing to see if maybe they can sign him as a starting pitcher. I have no doubt in my mind. But what he needs to do right now is just focus on being the best pitcher regardless, because now you're creating a distraction. Teams are realizing you're giving a distraction because say he goes to another team eventually, he complains about this even more. That's going to hurt his value as well. So, I just don't understand the point of saying this to the media. You can think all you want, but the media all you have to say is, I'm just going to do whatever I can to help my team win in whatever role they put me in. I'm just going to do whatever I can to make sure that the end goal is to win. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything about anything else, even if you don't agree with it.
He's clearly put he's clearly put himself above the team, and the Pirates have put him above the team for too long.
Right.
And that has to end now.
What he also has to realize too is that in the bullpen, like we've mentioned, they lack, the back end guy. If Soto goes back to the means, or if Mason Montgomery starts to get in the slide where he's walking a bunch of guys, Mlodzinski could be slotted as the closer. If everything turns to crap in the bullpen,
they'll never do that. I don't.
They
think.
won't.
But you never know.
Right. I mean, but if if you're in a dire spot like that could be an option too. And closers get paid a ton of money nowadays, and relievers that are really good will still get paid. So I think that Mlodzinski just needs to pit, but just needs to do the best he can in whatever role he's in, because that's going to build a lot for himself if he wants to raise his market value. Because I mean, Clay Holmes didn't complain whenever he got moved to the bullpen,
he was an all-star
just,
closer.
yeah.
And then he still got he still got the contract as a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
so that
exactly.
you could, but now I mean this attitude. Obviously, all these teams that will look into him in the future, or if the Pirates are willing to shop him, right, are going to see it and say, "Do we really want this kind of guy on our team?" Because if he does bad as a starter, is he going to pout when we move him to the bullpen? Like he's just worsening his own situation.
Yeah, and it all comes with the fact that going in the third time in the order, that's whenever he starts to struggle. Third, fourth time, he needs to realize how fantastic he is in a 2-3 inning role, night in and night out. I mean, he just shuts down all these hitters, and then obviously he gets into his troubles. If you just limit him to those 3 innings or however many or less, he's going to have an ERA under 2. And that's so much more valuable to be a reliever with an ERA under 2 than be a starting pitcher with the ERA about as good as the worst quality start you can have. I just don't understand why you're upset about being put in the best situation for you.
Well, and you know who else is to blame? Whoever his agent is. Because the fact that he mentioned his agent in this interview yesterday shows that the agent is pushing, you have to be don't let them make you a reliever, Carmen. Like, you obviously do not have good counseling.
And
I mean, if he had a good agent, this would not be happening.
Right, and you look at his minor league history, it wasn't like he was this dominant starting pitcher. He had an ERA in the 4s throughout the minor leagues as a starting pitcher, and then he made his major league debut whenever he went to Indianapolis, and they're like, okay, we're just going to keep you in the bullpen. That's whenever he made his debut, because he found a lot more success doing that. And I always thought he profiled better as a reliever, even whenever he was drafted, just because of him just having really good stuff, but like also it didn't seem like he can go far in the games. I had a feeling that he was going to eventually be a reliever, but I didn't really realize how it would be, because obviously whenever he was drafted, that was the beginning of the rebuild in 2020. So you figured they'd probably give him a chance to be a starter sooner than later, especially with him coming out of college. But also how like in 2023, he was awesome. Like he was intense. He really embraced being in that reliever role. And then all of a sudden he feels like he needs to upgrade his market. And instead of working his way to potentially be a closer, if he was just willing to stay in that reliever role, maybe he eventually becomes that closer. But instead, now they're having to try him as a starting pitcher. And then all this other stuff happens whenever he could have had a really good career as a back end reliever.
Yeah, look, I mean, the overarching points is like that we've all agreed on. Like he's put himself over the team, and for a team like the Pirates, you just can't have that. You're trying to make
the Pirates have allowed it. They've allowed it.
They have,
and that's the other big issue.
They have, but I think now is the point where the other point here is Mlodzinski has to realize he is at his best as a 2 or 3 inning reliever. I mean, we've shown that it's shown in his career. You guys just talked about it. And so what's best for the team is for him to be in that role and to provide some stabilization to this bullpen, right? The starting rotation has been, pretty solid this season. Obviously, Ashcraft has been excellent. Skeens has had a couple rough outings, but other than that, he's been dominant. Mitch Keller's done his thing. Chandler, we lose every Chandler start, but Mlodzinski was fine. And now Jones, I have no doubt, will be electric. We might have some inconsistency to start, but he's gonna bring it every start. The bullpen has been a disaster, and so we need help in the bullpen. The Pirates need help, so you're gonna be in the bullpen, and you're gonna just go back to the role you're in. I would be fine, honestly, if they kind of did what they did with Dotel a few days ago with Mlodzinski. You got a starter go 6 innings, and then Mlodzinski goes 2 innings.
They should
closes
tomorrow
it out,
with
or
Jared
goes
Jones, assuming Jones doesn't go far into the game. I think they could do that tomorrow.
Right, and I think
that's tonight.
Or tonight. Yeah.
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 But I think that's a role that they could really stabilize this bullpen. The less, a Johan Ramirez or Brandon Boudoir is in, and Brandon Boudoir, he's done really solid so far, other than yesterday. But he's a rookie. You can't put like all that expectation and the high leverage on an unproven rookie. The less they pitch in close games and meaningful games for the Pirates, and close tight ball games, the better for this bullpen and for this team. And so I think this is a good move for the team overall. I think it will help stabilize this bullpen, like I mentioned, like we all agree, and could give be the difference between the Pirates being hovering around 500 to being several games over, right? And stabilizing some 1-run and 2-run games, getting the wins there instead of blowing them and having losses. I think it's an important move for the Pirates, and it's important that Justin Lawrence isn't pitching for this team anymore as well. So anything else on that? I do want to get to another Pirates thing that kind of went under the radar a little bit, overshadowed by Jared Jones being activated, which was Valdez being sent down and this Tyler Callahan being brought up. Tyler Callahan, who actually had a double yesterday and drove in a run, but he also, my brother said he had an error. He was one of the errors in that game yesterday.
Okay.
What did you guys think of that? Kind of a puzzling move. I don't know what to really make of it. Valdez was starting every game. It wasn't like they sent Garcia down, which you can understand, I guess, a little more, because Garcia hasn't been starting as much. Valdez has been starting every game. It's not like they need to send him down to get more at-bats, What did you guys think of that move? And, this Tyler Callahan, was he the guy, who was he?
We traded it for him for Kyle Nicholas.
Yeah.
That was the Kyle Nicholas. Okay. It was definitely, it's definitely with the Reds, but it wasn't the Hayes trade. I was trying to remember what that was from. But what do you guys think of this? And what do we think of this offense right now? Brian Reynolds has been scorching hot the last week. It's getting close to June here. He's already in June mode, I think. And
and this is one of his better Aprils and Mays he's had in a long time.
Right.
I feel like.
So if he has a good
you love
June,
to see it.
he could hit 280 by July.
Right.
Which would be great.
Yeah, I wasn't. Here's what I'll say. Because last time, I just hit my foot on the chair and that hurt. Here's what I'll say about Enmanuel Valdez, or no, Esmerlyn.
Yep.
Esmerlyn.
I miss Enmanuel.
I do. I know he's still in AAA. I mean, honestly, I don't know much about Tyler Callahan. I got to be honest with you. I don't think he has any power at all. Like, I don't think his numbers in AAA have had much. I don't think he's had much success in the minor leagues. I don't really know. I'd have to look. But I'd kind of rather have Enmanuel Valdez up here than
I'd rather have
Tyler
Ronnie
Callahan.
Simon. Ronnie Simon's been
He's
hitting
been
well in
crushing the
AAA.
ball.
Yeah.
He's been crushing the ball.
As an infielder, because like Gonzalez is hurt and Griffin day to day.
So my point is, they needed to bring up an infielder, right? So because is Gonzalez going on the IL? I don't know, but he's banged up. Griffin, I think, is going to be fine, but he's banged up. So you needed an infielder for at least a week here, maybe longer. I don't know. I mean, if Gonzalez and Griffin are out for a significant amount of time, your lineup really shrinks quickly. And because you already don't have Ryan O'Hearn. But I wanted to say about Esmerlyn Valdez, very impressed by him. And when we were talking about guy options for, since O'Hearn's out and who's going to come up, we were talking about all that last week. And we didn't really talk about Esmerlyn Valdez at all. We kind of forgot about him. And I didn't really, I knew he was, doing well in the minor leagues, but I hadn't really, looked into him all that much. But I saw some people on Twitter saying, hey, he should be up here. But, he hadn't been in AAA all that long, so I never really thought of him as a guy who was going to come up anytime soon. And here he is, and really studying his swing. One of my favorite swings I've seen out of a Pirates prospect in a long time, honestly. I think he provides more upside, at least from the short sample size we've seen. I've seen more higher upside with Esmerlyn Valdez than Justinson Garcia. I mean, Justinson Garcia has been okay. Not really all that great, I don't think. But they're gonna choose Garcia over him because Garcia is the older prospect, the guy that Sherrick traded for, and the guy who's had more experience in the minor league. So he's gonna get to stay.
And also he's better defensively too.
Sure, I mean, I guess, but I mean, this whole team stinks defensively.
Yeah.
So what do I care about that?
And they've actually,
Esmerlyn, I'm just saying, I really like this kid. I really, really like this kid, but obviously he's the odd man out because of the circumstances I just laid out, and they had to bring up an infielder. The fact that it was Tyler Callahan, questionable, but again, and that's another guy they just traded for. So, and Ronnie Simone, is it Simon? Yeah, I think it's Simon. I think it's Simon.
I think it is, yeah. But he's not on the 40-man, though, so they probably wanted to bring someone up from the 40-man so they didn't have to.
And someone they just traded for.
Yeah.
Right. But Simone, I mean, Simon would, he was a little weird. Like his defense was questionable at times. Remember when he was at the Marlins?
Yeah.
That whole game, and then he ended up getting DFA'd.
Yeah, but that was, they were just trying to get a reason to DFA him, and that happened. But,
So
Tyler Callahan. Oh,
I don't know what to make of Callahan. Is my point. I don't really know.
He's just a utility infielder. That's all. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I was looking at his numbers, and he's a 740 OPS guy in the minors with 12 homer a year power. This year he's not hit well. He has like a 650 OPS with Indianapolis, but
he made a good showing yesterday, though. Obviously, but I'm glad I didn't see that game yesterday. I would have flipped out seeing Triolo make that error. I know he made an error. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to know about it. I mean, the guy is in there for his defense, and he makes an error. I mean, Skeens, everyone's like, well, he's given up 12 runs in 3 games. He pitched fine yesterday. It's not his fault he had 2 unearned runs. I mean, and obviously Callahan makes an error. So, I mean, you can't have a guy like Triolo who's supposed to be a plus defender making errors. It just can't happen, especially when they don't hit. Him and Davis. Now, Davis especially, because he's much worse of a hitter than Triolo is.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the Triolo, he bobbled the ball like in his glove. He had it in his glove. He bobbled and he tried to throw to first, and it was a bad throw, and it got away. That was the error. I didn't see the Callahan one, but yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, Triolo's only value is defense, right? I mean, he's been okay hitting so far, but he's a 240 hitter with very little power.
At best, we'd like him to hit 240.
Yeah, well, I think it's like around what he's hitting right now, but it's a small sample size. But yeah, anything else with the Pirates? They like I mentioned, they play Minnesota this weekend.
The
with
Derek Shelton Bowl.
Derek Shelton's gonna challenge and be successful in every challenge, and the Pirates it's gonna be the greatest challenge discrepancy.
So the Pirates are 29th in successful challenges this year. And that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
The ABS has been a disaster.
I could tell from the first weekend of the season they were going to be awful at it.
Well, you could tell going into the season they're the Pirates.
They just never adapt to stuff. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because every single game I've been to for the Pirates, they have yet to be successful on an ABS challenge, except yesterday, whenever the game didn't matter, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever the game didn't matter, it was 10-4. The Pirates won the challenge, or they didn't win a challenge, but the Cubs were wrong on one. And it feels like every single time an ABS challenge is getting put out there, it's not in the Pirates' favor. Either the Pirates challenge and they get it wrong, or the opposing team challenges and they get it right. And it's just I don't know. It's crazy.
I do want to go back to the whole Mlodzinski-Jones situation, and I want to talk about Bubba Chandler. Because, again, we said Pirates don't win when he's on the mound. He hasn't been good. I mean, Mlodzinski, you could say he did get a raw deal because he has been better than Chandler. But, again, I have no sympathy for him. I've already talked about that. But, I mean, again, we talked about this last week. I was saying, hey, if it's not Mlodzinski, move Chandler to the bullpen. But here's the thing. Chandler isn't pitching well at all. So the Pirates need help in the bullpen. It's not, the bullpen isn't a trash heap to say, hey, Bubba Chandler stinks right now. Let's throw him in the bullpen. We don't need more crap pitching in the bullpen. So to me, they made the right move. So the people, my point is the people questioning Mlodzinski, why is Mlodzinski over Chandler, right? It's because they need someone who can actually pitch well in the bullpen. Not just be there, but pitch well. And Chandler, his options right now are, for them is, he either gets better here, or if he continues to struggle, right, you move him to AAA. I mean, that's where we're at.
No, I 100% agree. And like you mentioned, you need the bullpen to be better. And I know people are like, well, don't you want the rotation to be great? And I agree, but still, 4 of your 5 starting pitchers in the or in the rotation are going to be reliable. I'd
Right.
rather have four of my 5 starting pitchers be reliable than 4 of my 8 guys in the bullpen be the only reliable ones. I mean, it's just a huge difference because you can't pitch these guys every single day. And Mlodzinski, that gives you a fifth, right? A fifth option? No, four. Well, now a fourth. But anyway, like a fourth reliable guy that you can put in the bullpen at least consistently. So like, to me, it's just it made it better. And like you mentioned, this is Bubba Chandler's last, well, not last chance, but like obviously he might get sent down. Who knows? But then you have Hunter Barco waiting. I mean, they have some options in the rotation / bullpen that they can go with. So.
So I think they made the right. And then other people are like, well, maybe they should have put Jones in the bullpen. I don't care what anyone says. You tell me, look at me straight in the face and tell me that Carmen Mlodzinski has shown more as a starter than Jared Jones has. You can't do it. You can't do it. Jared Jones, I mean, he struggled at the end of his last year. His last season,
hurt.
he struggled at the end. But, I mean, he was on the verge of getting, what was it? Was it shoulder or elbow? I think it was his elbow, right? So he was on the verge of getting elbow surgery. He's a guy who's a high-end starter. He's going to be, I mean, we'll see how he does out the gate here, but, I mean, he's thrown 100, 101 down in the minor leagues. I mean, he's ready to go. He's a guy that, you know, you think Keller, Skeens, Ashcraft, and Jones. Those guys are all 2, 3 guys, at least. I mean, we know Skeens is obviously a number 1, and Ashcraft looks like a number 2. Keller's a solid number 3. And then whatever you can get out of Jones coming off surgery is just a bonus. And we know he can be a top-end starter. So Mlodzinski has not shown more as a starter than Jared Jones. Like, we know
Agreed.
the upside with Jared Jones as a starter is higher than anything Carmen Mlodzinski will ever be as a starter.
Absolutely. Anything else on the Buccos? Again, they're just kind of doing the same old thing they've done this season, which is win a series and lose a series or split a series. They're just kind of a 500. Still in last place in very competitive NL Central. So we'll just have to see with that.
I mean, I kept saying all year they're a 500 team, too many deficiencies, and that's what they are right now. But they still have a fighter's chance. I mean, they got to just keep playing baseball. And they got to figure some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just if that bullpen was semi-competent beyond Soto, you know, and then Montgomery and Sisk a lot of times, like there could be several more wins, and they could be more up to where the Cardinals are, even higher up, certainly in the Central, and in the wild card picture than they are. But the Brewers are going to win this division. I mean,
Yes.
they're just something else.
They do their thing, man.
Yeah, they're just Pat Murphy. He's just quite an individual. But
and here's a stat I'm sorry, but here's a stat I saw. Yes, that kind of shows the Pirates they should have more wins than they have, and their bullpen has been an issue. Is this stat here? Brandon Lau, right? He has 14 homers. He has 3 multi-homer games. The Pirates are 0-3, and all 3 games he's had multi-homers. The Cubs game where they could have swept the Cubs. He had a multi-homer game. The Wednesday night game against the Cubs the No, he only had one homer. What am I saying?
Yeah.
And then there were two other games, but they're also, and then the games he has
The Mets game.
solo
The Mets
home
game's the
run.
big one.
Right. And then the solo homer, he's 5 when he hits one home run in a game, they're 5 and 6. So you're getting all this power from Lau, but you're only winning 5 of the times he's hit homers. So like that's, it's just wasting great production, but I mean, it's a minor thing, but it speaks to something.
Well, this team scored the 4th most runs in baseball.
Right.
And if somebody told you that before the season, you'd think, oh, they're the best team in baseball. They're right up there. You know what I mean? Because the pitching's going to be there. But we did have concerns about this bullpen, and they've been exacerbated. And
the defense and the base running too. I mean,
well, the defense has been better
it's an
than I
issue
thought.
at times.
The defense, like, statistically, has not been bad, actually. Now, there's been moments where we say, oh, and you can't always go with, what the stats say. DRS
it's an issue too much of a time.
But it is,
to be a great
it is
team.
an issue. Yeah. Anything else on the Pirates before we move to Pirate Payton's favorite NBA team?
Ever. Especially this season.
In the history of our country.
Yeah.
His favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were the fans were chanting "flopper" to Wembanyama actually in Game 5. This has been
that's rich coming from them.
You did see that? Yeah, they responded to San Antonio.
I really could care less because they're irrelevant. They're an irrelevant.
Well, at least Peyton, you can talk about the player you think is the greatest basketball player to ever touch the basketball, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I mean,
know how much you
he's
love
just.
him. So.
I don't even know. Where was I going? I don't even know what I was saying. But I'm just saying that the fact that they're chanting flaw, I mean, that's rich. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, Oklahoma City, there has been flopping in the league, but the fact that they're winning a lot because of it, and they're the big, villain right now, they're the potential dynasty right now, right? It's catching more attention, and I don't know about you, I've never seen a team do it as much as they do. I mean, no one's saying this no one's just saying this just to say this. Like, it's just true. And I think Oklahoma City's a great team. Obviously, I mean, you have to give them a lot of credit. They were a franchise in the hole and then they got all these draft picks, and they have a very good team. But to me, Victor Wembanyama, he has to be the new face of basketball, and I think he will be. But if he wins this Game 7, that'll be a big step towards that. I mean, he's just the thing with him though is he's so good, but yet I don't think he's reached his full potential. I mean, he's been this series, like when he's on in this series, the Spurs have blown out the Thunder. Like when he's scoring 20 points in the first half, they're winning by 25 points. But then there's other games where he's just Hartenstein. I mean, you have to give the Thunder credit. That Hartenstein, one of the more likable players on their team, in my opinion. I like how he battles. He gets physical, and the refs let him get physical with Wemby. And if the refs are going to let you do it, I mean, you do it, and you're helping your team win. But again, the big thing for Wemby is when they don't. Again, Chet Holmgren, who's been an absolute disgrace recently, if he's not guarding Wemby and Hartenstein's on the bench, Wemby has to take advantage of that. They got to the more the ball's in his hands, the better chance they have to win, and that's it. I mean, and if he's shooting, 40%, I mean they're gonna win the game.
Well,
I don't know. That's how I see it. I didn't watch the game last night. I wasn't able to, but
yeah, we've been talking about the series. This Game 7's gonna be a huge game, like for years down the road, because if all the pressure to me is on the Thunder, because the Spurs are going to be a dynasty. Like, I mean,
they're only getting better. Like, I don't think they're a great team yet, but yet they could still win the NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, I mean, Wemby is so young. Castle's a second-year player. Dylan Harper's a rookie. Like, there's so much room for them. Like, they're only going to get better, and they dominated in in 2026 in the regular season. Like they went on such a run. They were the best team in basketball in 2026, and like if OKC loses, they don't have Jalen Williams right now. He's hurt again. He's been hurt a while. AJ Mitchell's been banged up, but like going forward, like San Antonio is going to be the team in the West, and it's. I think every Western Conference team is kind of realizing that. I think certainly Houston's recognized that. They've been looking to get Giannis. I mean, the Nuggets have recognized that, and they've already they might enter a rebuild actually with their situation and lack of draft capital. But no, it's just, and the Lakers are not doing it. They're not going anywhere. It's going to be the Spurs here, and if the Spurs, this is the chance for OKC to win another title, right? And I do think the Knicks are really good. Yeah, they're well coached.
The Knicks have been on a tear. They haven't lost a playoff game in a while. And
I mean, we could touch on the Knicks a little bit. I think their situation right now is really excellent. I mean, it is crazy how they this turnaround, because they were down. They were down 2-1 to a bad, on a not very good Atlanta Hawks team. Let's just be honest, okay? People are saying Mike Brown is a disgrace. They should have never fired Thibodeau. Why is he here? This team, they have no heart. No, I don't know if they said that, but we know of someone who likes to say that a lot.
Frank the Tank was probably saying that. He loves.
He probably was saying that. And then they finally get their crap together, and they win those 3 games, and then they sweep the Sixers, who just came back incredibly against the Celtics. I mean, everyone thought the Celtics were the favorite going into this thing, and when the Sixers knocked them out, that changed everything. And the Sixers just, I thought that was going to be a much more competitive series.
Me too, yeah.
I mean, I am surprised by that. But the Sixers are just, I guess they're not as deep.
They had no bench. They didn't have a bench.
And when what's his name is always hurt, Embiid, I mean, what are you gonna do? And then the Cavaliers. I mean, I thought the Knicks would win, for sure. I said, what did I say? Knicks? Did I say Knicks
5,
in 6? They were Knicks. I don't know what I predicted, but I think the Cavaliers could have won a game or two in that series. But when you lose game 1 the way they did, basically because of bad coaching, from my understanding,
and they were exhausted. They were like,
they quit.
Yeah.
They literally quit. I mean,
the other
end of game 3 and all of game 4, they just quit. And I don't know how you keep the coach after some of his comments. And then James Harden saying whatever the heck he's saying about we're the better team. I don't know what. I don't know what's. Listen, Cleveland. Anything that goes on in Cleveland, it's a mystery. You just don't. You never know what these. It's like the air is just different in Cleveland than it is in the rest of the country. I don't know what they're breathing, but they just live in a different world. I don't know what goes on in Cleveland. But
Cleveland's actually a very underrated city because people think it's the worst thing ever. Actually,
no,
I've
been to Cleveland. It's all right. It's all right. I'm just saying, when it comes to their sports teams, I mean, it's just, it's like, what are you guys talking about, man? But anyway, I can't believe they kept the coach. But going back to the Knicks, the fact that they've won 10 in a row, they have all this momentum, and they're getting all this rest while the Spurs and the Thunder are beating the shit out of each other in a very physical series, is a huge advantage for the Knicks. Huge. And I assume the whoever comes out of the West will have home court, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, having that rest and being as hot as they are, and I know the East is much weaker, I mean, I think it puts them in a great position, really.
Oh, yeah. I think there you could make an argument they should be the favorites. I mean, against whoever they play, honestly. Just because that means, we saw it with the Cavs. The Cavs played 2 7-game series, and at the end of game 1, part of it was taking their foot off the gas. Part of it was Atkinson not calling timeouts because they were, gassed. They've been, the Knicks have had that rest advantage over, the Cavs, and they're going to have the rest advantage over San Antonio or OKC. And stylistically, Karl-Anthony Towns has been, by far this has been the best season of his career. Just solely based on how he's played in these playoffs. He's been tremendous. And
Imagine if he had stayed in Minnesota with Ant. Do the Timberwolves regret that trade? Do you think?
I think I don't think the Cat thing was gonna work in Minnesota, and he's like upped his game with the Knicks. Like he's a different player now. He's in the playoffs. Mike Brown has got him playing the point, and he's averaging 6 assists per game, and he's shooting threes. So now Wemby or Luke Cornett or something, if the Spurs advance, and then Hardenstein or Holmgren's gonna come out. Cat would just dominate Holmgren. They can't have that. He
I'd
would
love
just
to see
bully
that.
him.
But at the same time, I don't want to see.
You don't want to see him advance. Yeah, but like matchup wise, it would be a really even series. I think the Knicks are obviously not the caliber of a 53-win team anymore. I mean, they've upped their game significantly in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a really exciting finals, but they will have the advantage in terms of being able to rest more, being more fresh. Like you mentioned, Peyton, these, San Antonio and OKC are going at it. Carter Bryant's tackle in SGA yesterday, that was he literally just tackled him. Like he was going for a rebound, but he just.
And people are like, "Oh, that's to me." There's a difference between
that's what
being
basketball
dirty
used to be,
and being physical, right? And I feel like it's just like it's always like, is it we have to review every foul if it's a flagrant. It's just like, who cares, bro? Like, but what the issue with the NBA, I think, is the commissioner. I mean, all the other commissioners are willing to adjust to what the issues that are clearly at play with their leagues, and they address them. And Adam Silver's just like, well, our officiating is incredible. Like, what, dude? Like, this is why like, if you don't care to make adjustments and make your league better for the fans, I mean, this is why your product is not as good as Major League Baseball and not as good as the NFL. I feel like they have bad leadership. They have bad leadership at the top right now.
Yeah, and I've been like, I've been an NBA guy, like growing up, like basketball and baseball were like my big sports. Then I really started getting into the NFL because it's the best sport. It's just it's just the way they do it. But yeah, it's the
officiating
degraded.
is awful. I mean, the amount of flops that happen, and they just automatically blow the whistle.
But again, what do you do?
And it's not just the Thunder. I mean, it's all around the league.
But it's just what do you do? Like, how do you they literally have a rule against flopping.
But they
literally
never
have a thing,
assessed.
and nobody.
Why is it not assessed?
I don't know. But if you want to call it every time, like OKC and some of these teams, like Harden, James Harden is the biggest flop. Like he was known for like flopping before SGA even started his career. It'd just be a ton of enforcement. Like it would just be all the time they'd be calling it.
Well, something has to be done.
I mean, Brunson does it.
It's hard to watch. I mean, it's hard to watch. And I like the NBA. I mean, part of it has always been like, especially these playoff games, like in the fourth quarter, if the game's within 10 points or 12 points, at least, then that's where it gets interesting, and I'll turn on the fourth quarter. It's just hard for me to watch a whole NBA game I feel like the lack of defense has always been an issue, and then this whole flopping and the amount of fouls that are called is just, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, and you'd think like in the playoffs, you typically let them play, and the NBA's gotten softer in terms of what it used to be in the 80s and 90s, very physical play, and now it's less physical and more fouls are called. Like it just doesn't really make any sense. Now part of it is like it's a fine line, which is why I kind of give the refs some grace, because part of it is selling a foul that already happened, and part of it's just blatant flopping. And it's a fine line sometimes. And so, SJ you got to give him credit, he does a great job of drawing fouls. And people say some of it's it's, he's flopping or whatever, but some of it is flopping, but some of it he's literally drawing fouls because he's so hard to guard. Like, he's so good at that mid-range, and you run into him and everything, those are fouls, and you got to call them. But some of them, he is blatantly flopping, and there's a highlight reel or not a highlight reel of him doing it consistently. But Jalen Brunson does it. Not to the degree, but he does do it because he's so hard to guard as well. And James Harden found that out in that series. But it'll be very interesting. But yeah, Game 7, I mean, there's pressure on San Antonio, but there's a lot more pressure on OKC to win because I think San Antonio, like Sam Presti for OKC, has done a great job of building this roster. But Wemby is just, and SGA is great, but Wemby is just at a different animal, like at his peak.
When all's said and done, I mean, Wemby's going to be a much bigger superstar than SGA. I mean,
how about this? At the end of his career, I think he will be, but it's still kind of a hot take. Like, Wembanyama could be the best Spur ever if he keeps it up. And I'm not disrespecting Tim Duncan at all, because I still think he's amongst the best, if not the best power forward to ever play the game. But Wembanyama, I mean, you put up 40 points and 20 rebounds. I mean, that's unheard of.
It's just about consistency with him, and like Peyton kind of mentioned, he's had some ups and downs, kind of in terms of scoring and being assertive. But Game 7, I'm very excited for this Game 7, all in the line, and you could see in SGA like after the game, like he knows how big this game is because I think if the Spurs win, even if the Spurs don't win, I would have them as the favorites in the West, next year and going forward, because Stephon Castle has so much room to grow. Dylan Harper has so much more room to grow. If Carter Bryant can develop an offensive game, he's really, really good defensively. And obviously, Vassell is a really good player. Keldon Johnson. Like, they just have a lot of depth, like OKC does. But Wembanyama, he raises the ceiling even higher than SGA. And SGA's secondary players, Chet Holmgren is not nearly as good to me as Stephon Castle or Dylan Harper can be and will be. Chet Holmgren, that was a disgraceful Game 6. I mean, he was just in the corner and he was getting blocked. Wemby blocked him. Devin Vassell blocked him and then said something to him, and he was just taking it. You got to be assertive with Jalen Williams out, and Jalen Williams is always hurt, and he was out for most of the season. They're just not reliable options for OKC, which is why I think in the offseason the Thunder have to look, even if they win this and they win the championship, they got to look for another kind of secondary option, SGA.
Well, I feel like, though, the Spurs, are missing another big to go along with Wemby. I mean, this Cornet guy
that's a good
very
player.
Average. He's all right. I don't know. I feel like they need more size. But of course, when you have Wemby, but he can't play every minute. I don't know.
Well, they have the great Mason Plumlee. They have the great Bismack Biyombo on their bench. It is like
he still exists.
They have Kelly Olynyk. They never play Kelly Olynyk. These are like
They have all the centers from NBA 2K17.
Yeah,
on their depth. That's funny. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's always funny they bring him in. And it was funny, people were saying Mason Plumlee and Biyombo, Wemby told him to hurt Jared McCain or something. But it kind of looked like the first one, Plumlee just pushed into Jared McCain. It was funny. And then Biyombo.
I have no issue. I mean, you don't tell the guys, but hey, shove them around a little bit. I have no problem with that. Send a message. But what did Lou Dort say about?
I don't think that was real.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because it was from the great Ballsack Sports.
That definitely not real then. Wow.
What did he say? I can't remember what he said now. We gotta pull it up for journalistic integrity.
Well, I know what it is, but I'm gonna have Nate look it up.
Let me look it up so I can embarrass myself and say it.
To climax this moment here.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, here we are.
He said he's gonna.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He said he had something in store for Wemby.
He said,
well, what is
Dort,
it? What are you gonna do?
Lou Dort on his secret to slowing down Victor Wembanyama. He said, "I might whip it out." Quote, "I might whip it out." Now, what is it?
Wait.
No.
Which account's this again?
The Great Ballsack Sports, which has been
makes
known
sense.
for its journalistic integrity when it comes to covering the NBA. We can only imagine what that. We don't know what that will be. Now we can infer what it might be. That he's gonna.
But then they'll have like an actual
But
explanation of what it means. But they'll just have the clickbaity title that you're like, what am I looking at right now?
but yeah, I'm interested to see what this looks like for Game 7. Because Lou Dort, I want to talk about. I'm glad you brought this up actually, because I want to talk about Lou Dort because he's a disgrace, and he's. I never thought of him to be
Their
a
whole
dirty
team
player.
is a disgrace, bro.
Yeah, but like they just have a group of just unlikable. I mean, it's
they're
like
so unlikable, bro. Like this is why the Spurs they gotta save the league, bro.
Like
Save the
SGA,
ratings. I mean, the product is
SGA
unwatchable as it is, and then you're gonna have this team be a dynasty. It's like, bro.
Yeah, like SGA,
on.
like he's a really good player and everything, and he's a good dude, but it's just like I just don't like him. It's a lot of times. Holmgren's a joke.
He's
Williams,
all third and all third team NBA. Don't be
Was he really?
disrespectful.
Yeah, he was all.
That's what
NBA
Nate
third
said.
team.
What?
Some of the people that. Because a lot of players were not eligible, they didn't play 65 games.
Thing. Okay, that
And
makes.
so,
I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's not. He's just nothing. He's not a player of note. But Lou
He's
Dort,
just too skinny. Like
it's
they
crazy.
was
He's
like,
just
oh,
a
these big men are now just skinny. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and Wemby's skinny, but he has like the force. He has like the will to win.
But he's still not
just
that
a goober.
skinny though. It's not like he's skin and bones like Holmgren, where he can't command in the paint.
Yeah,
Like he still has a little bit of meat on his bone.
Wemby is he should probably put on a few pounds.
yeah.
Yeah, if he
It'll only
does,
help
that's
him.
that's a specimen. If he does,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
holy
Lou Dort, I never thought of him as a dirty. I always liked Lou Dort because he was a tough guy. He was a great defender.
Was he a
But this
Cavalier?
year-
no.
He's always been.
Has
a
he always
Thunder.
been a Thunder? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he this year he was getting dirty with Jokic. He was tripping. He was just tripping He just started tripping people, and he was doing it in the playoffs. And you're not good enough. You're not good enough to be doing that. You're a 6-point per game player, and you rarely hit threes anymore. Like you've degraded as
Was
a
he
player.
trying? But is he trying to like be like their Draymond Green?
But he's not. But he's nobody. Like Draymond has that fact. Like he is gonna like kill you. Like he's gonna. He could do so. Like he'll. Like Lou Dort's just like. Nobody fears Lou Dort. All right. And now he's gonna whip it out for Game 7. Oh.
That's definitely a fake quote, though. We do want to.
Yes, it better be. It better be.
And then Jared McCain's. A little bit too zesty.
He is zesty, and he's basically a zesty TikToker. But he has been a huge
Yeah,
piece
he's
for
good.
them in the
He's a
series.
good guy. He's a good guy too.
Yeah, he's a good
He was
kid.
a Sixer, right?
but it's
And
just,
they
like,
got him for
funny.
Yeah.
peanuts. Am I
Yeah, because
understanding
for some
that
reason they gave
correctly?
up on him, even though he was really good as a rookie.
That was a bad trade.
I'm sure they
That-
could use him.
That's one of the reasons they got rid of Daryl Morey, but it's just like the whole team is just, and then post game when someone gets interviewed, the whole team's around. Like it's just a weird kind of thing. But who do we think wins Game 7? Do you guys have any predictions? I think OKC is going to win.
Well, I
because
will say this: I felt very
pressure's on.
confident. I felt very confident the Spurs would force a Game 7 because when Wemby has a bad game, like he did, like he's automatically going to bounce back. He's been kind of like on and off this whole series. I mean, I don't know, man. You say OKC's going to win. I mean,
They gotta win.
I agree.
For me,
I agree. I think OKC will as well.
if OKC doesn't win, there's no dynasty for them.
No. It's like the Bucks.
But again, like you can only have like one dynasty, and I just think the Spurs are inevitable anyway. But I think the Thunder, like if they want, like they need to win their championship now to repeat because I don't. It's going to be a lot tougher going forward. And I'm going in the series. I had no rooting interest, honestly, even though everything about OKC.
right.
But now I love De'Aaron Fox. I hope because he was just stuck in Sacramento, and they're such a joke of a. They're really like the worst run for them, and the Angels are just the worst run franchises. But I tell you, but he
My
was
poor
stuck there for a
Angels.
while, and he's a winning player. He got Sacramento to the playoffs, basically him and Sabonis. So I'm rooting for him, and I'm rooting for Harris. I love Harrison Barnes. He was a catalyst for the Warriors for all those years, and he just put up numbers. And he's one of those guys nobody talks about, and he's had a really solid career. He can't defend now; they can't really put him in right now because he gets destroyed defensively by some of these younger OKC players. But I hope for Harrison Barnes' sake they can win and go forward. But I like Caruso. I'm a big Caruso guy. I like Hardenstein. I like Jared McCain.
Caruso, I liked him when he was on the Lakers. Now I don't like him anymore.
Caruso's
But you gotta respect him. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
he's a good player.
I really like
Yeah.
how AJ Mitchell plays. I don't know if he's playing for Game 7, but I think that would be big for OKC. He's taken a huge step. He wasn't even in the rotation last season, and he's been great.
So the Spurs have Harper and Fox healthy, right? Although Fox is like on one leg, but they're
Fox
both
is
playing.
not healthy, but
Oh, I forgot they have
Yeah.
him. I mean, whenever he's healthy, he's a good second option for sure.
he hasn't. He just hasn't
But
been
he
himself.
hasn't been. Yeah.
'Cause he's been hampered with, and then like one of the OKC players, I swear it was intentional. They stepped on his foot or something, because he had that ankle issue, or like stepped on
Of
his
course.
ankle, and he kind of reacted. But that's basketball. That's competitive spirit, and so. Anyway.
Yeah, I would say I'm too biased to have an actual prediction, and I'm not as knowledgeable on the NBA as you, Nate, and probably as you, Jake. But I think it comes down to the superstars. I mean, if Wemby has the type of game that he's had in games 4 and 6, the Spurs will win the game. If SGA is in it, if Wemby's has an okay game, but SGA is kept under control, I mean they'll have a chance. But I do think that I feel like the Thunder are deeper still than the Spurs. Obviously, they have more options. They can win games without SGA being great all the time. Whereas I feel like the Spurs, they need Wemby to have those elite performances to win against the Thunder, at least. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Any thoughts, Jake Bell, or?
No, I do think OKC will win. Like you mentioned, they're more in a dire situation, but I don't know. It wouldn't shock me either way who wins. I mean, both these teams are
Should be a
battling.
great
I
game.
just think I do think that people are kind of sleeping on the Knicks because everyone's like, oh, whoever wins the West is going to win the finals. I wouldn't bet the house on. I would not bet the house on that.
I think
it's
it'll
gonna
be a great
close
finals. It'll be
Yeah,
a great finals.
It will
Competitive.
for sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, let's shift to Jake Bell's mystery Pirates segment here to close out the show, the episode.
All right.
What do we got in store, Jake Bell?
So I feel like this works best if you two work together.
Oh
But
boy.
I remember
We don't work well together. No, I'm just kidding.
So, I remember reading this years ago, obviously, because it was made in 2021, but I just remembered it today. So back in 2021, Baseball America projected the Pirates lineup for 2025, and this could still be relevant to 2026. So I want you guys to guess who they have as their starting 9 catcher through DH, the 5 starting pitchers and they felt would be in the rotation, and who they felt would be the closer. And I will
guys,
give you guys a hint. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I will give you a hint because Paul Skeens was still at the Air Force and Connor Griffin was starting his sophomore year of high school. So that's still something to put in consideration. That's not going to be those two.
1 through 9 from.
Yeah, 1 through
So
9.
their prediction for 2025, correct?
Yes, and we'll say 2026 because, I mean, these guys would be controllable through 2026 anyway.
Do we
and
count
this
the
list was
pitcher?
made. Yeah, there's 5
starting
starting
pitcher?
pitchers. There's 5 starting pitchers they have in the rotation and a closer. So
Are we
6
supposed
total
to
guys.
name that too?
Yep, 1
All
through
right,
9,
so-
and this was made in November of 2021. So think of prospects at the beginning of the rebuild, basically. That
So
would
we
have
know
been-
Brian Reynolds is going to be in there at the 2
What
spot.
position? Or
Center
Not
field.
there's not a line it's just position wise, and not center field. No,
DH.
Okay, left field.
not DH, left field. Yep.
Okay, so we're
All
not
right,
getting.
you got him.
Okay.
So it's not like one. It's just catcher through DH, like the position. Where do you think they're
Hayes at third.
Correct.
Is Cruz? Is that they have Cruz at short?
They do have Cruz, but not at short.
Center? They have him at center?
They do not.
DH.
Nope.
Catcher.
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Right field.
Right field. They have Cruz at right.
Interesting. Who would be in center?
This is a name that you guys haven't heard in a while. I will give you a hint.
It's for the center fielder.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cal Mitchell one of the players?
He is not. No. Maybe if they had like subs, maybe.
I
But
feel
they
like
don't.
there was. Oh. Oh, now I'm knocking things over. I know. I feel like I know, and I don't know.
Alright, so let's
wait.
go-
Okay, Nick Gonzalez would be at second, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who would be first base.
Catcher was Endy. Did we have Endy?
Andy's
that
on
point-
this, but not at catcher.
Catcher's
At
Davis.
DH or first base?
First base. They have Andy at first, and they do have Davis at catcher.
Oh, we drafted Davis. Okay, at
Yep.
that point.
Yeah, I was
So-
earlier. I was like being an idiot.
Yeah.
with
So
Davis.
for position players, you guys need shortstop and center field. And let me know if you guys need like any subtle hints.
Wait, did we get who's at first? Endy.
Andy, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys got Andy. So
With-
short, center, and DH. You need short,
All right,
center,
Kevin
and DH.
Newman he wasn't there, right? On the list?
He was on the
list?
team, but they don't have him because he
Okay.
wasn't good in 2021.
Was
Right.
the center fielder and/or shortstop a prospect at this time?
Both of them were, yeah. I mean, one was sort of close to making his debut. The other really wasn't at the time of like 2021.
Did they play for the Pirates at all? End up?
Both of them played on the major league team at some point. One for multiple years, sort of like a 4A type player, and then the other just got one chance and was DFA.
Was Sawinski?
Nope. Because
Not yet,
Sawinski,
no.
yeah, he
Castro.
just got acquired from Frazier. He didn't have that 2022 yet, so.
Rodolfo, that's a good guess. Rodolfo
he wasn't
Castro.
Rodolfo.
Rodolfo, no, they did not. Just because this shortstop was a higher profile than Castro, for sure.
Why do I feel like there was a center fielder, a white guy? And
Yep,
I'm not.
he was.
I'm not. Oh, it's not coming to me though. Oh, he was a first round Swaggerty.
Yep,
Travis
Travis
Oh,
Swaggerty.
good pull.
Yep. That was
Wow.
really cool. That one I was like,
What
I
a
wasn't
job.
sure. If you guys get the DH, I'll be shocked. But the shortstop,
So-
I think you
Will
guys.
Craig.
We're
Will.
missing.
No.
Yeah.
As the hitters,
Shortstop-
you need shortstop and DH.
What about
Um,
what's a little hint about the DH? Did he play for the
The
Pirates?
DH, he never played on the major league team. He had no power in college or his first year in the minors. And then, we
Why
didn't
the
have
hell
the
was
minor
he a
league season in
DH?
2020.
And our,
Because in
what kind of lineup
2021,
was this?
in 2021, this guy broke out completely and was the best all-around hitter in the Pirates minor leagues in 2021. And then after that, it was like nothing happened. He was back to being like a below-average player. But in 2021, he was dominant. Like in Greensboro, he hit like 23 homers and batted 300, and then they moved him to Altoona. So it made sense that they felt maybe he could be the DH because he showed random power out of nowhere.
You're gonna say it if we don't get it. I'm probably
Yeah.
both. of us
Shortstop,
are
you
gonna
guys
be-
should get, I think. I can't believe you guys haven't mentioned him yet. But DH, that's where it's going to be tough.
I'm trying to think because I remember the players eluding me. It was like
we
because they
said
were like
Nick Gonzalez, right, at second?
Yeah, Nick Gonzalez
Yeah.
at
Okay.
second, yep. And then the shortstop was basically his battery mate coming up. And they both made their debut around the same time. That's also a big hint.
oh
The
my
shortstop
goodness.
was his battery mate?
Like a double play
duo.
duo. Yeah.
Oh.
My initial thought was Termar Johnson, but,
But
you
it's-
said
that's not-
they
he's
played.
He
that
wasn't
wouldn't have
drafted
been
it.
yet, yeah.
I'm. I've.
And I'll give another pin. Peyton, you really like this guy, at least at the time. Like you wanted him to play
Uh,
more.
well, oh, Matt, what's his face? Matt, he literally debuted, Matt,
Matt. What?
his that first day, it was Matt,
Matt Frazier?
we were- no, Matt,
Wait, really? Is that it?
Matt,
Matt Frazier was the DH.
Oh!
that's not who I was thinking of. That's
It
not who I
wasn't, but whenever you
thinking
said
of.
Matt, I was like, wait, are you about to say it? And then
No, I was thinking of the
I'll
guy-
give that to you though.
I was thinking of the guy last year, who came up and hit a what was his name? The big guy?
Malcolm Nunez?
Yeah.
No. Matt.
Oh, Matt Gorski. No,
Matt
not
Gorski.
Matt Gorski.
Right, that's what
no,
I was
it was
thinking
Matt
of.
Frazier.
He was-
It was Matt Frazier though.
Matt. I don't remember that name. I remember
Yeah.
a Frazier. I remember. You know what? That I actually think that rings a bell. Yeah, he's
He-
not
Yeah.
in the
He
organization.
never played for the
anymore.
Pirates.
No,
Yeah.
but this
Um,
shortstop did. The shortstop did for sure.
Dude, I swear, like,
I cannot believe you guys don't have him yet. You want me to give you another hint?
No. Okay. Was he a first round pick?
No, he wasn't. But he was a top 100 prospect for like a year. I think after 2021, going into 2022.
Oh, Kevin. Not
not Kramer.
Kevin Kramer.
No.
That's what I was thinking of.
He was
Nope.
earlier.
Hello, Newman.
They trade. Oh man.
You sure you want me to give you another hint?
As long as it's not too obvious, sure.
Well, since multiple guys were in this same position, he was DFA'd going into this year.
They DFA'd him in the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
Not Rodolfo. Yeah, we traded him. Did he play last
I'm literally.
year?
Yeah, he did. Like at the end of the year, though. He did something in a game that was very, very crazy.
This is gonna.
Tommy
Last year,
Pham.
he did something crazy. Wait, what was that?
Tommy Pham.
No. Last year, this guy did something that was like insane that no one expected to happen in a game for him.
My brain is literally fried right now. I gotta be honest. Like, I'm not even thinking of anything. It's just gonna be you, Peyton. I'm.
Peyton,
completely
I'll give another hint. Peyton, going into 2024, you thought this guy should have been the starting second baseman on the opening day roster.
It's a bad
You
look
were-
for me.
You were like, this guy needs to be like, you were like, he was out of the rookies in 2023. This guy was the most impressive in your opinion.
The rookies in 2023.
And that was like whenever Henry Davis, Nick Gonzalez got called up, Andy Rodriguez, and then this guy also.
And he was a shortstop or second baseman in the Miners.
He was a shortstop in the Myers, but he profiled better as a second
Was
baseman.
he a
but
white
was
guy or a
shortstop.
black guy? Or can we
he
go
was
there?
from a different country.
Okay, that helps.
He came into professional baseball at like 16 or 17 years old. And the Pirates traded for him whenever he was like 19 or 20.
Are there pictures?
I
too?
think
Can
I have
we
to
go to
give up.
pictures right now? Can we?
Yeah,
or
let's
is-
go to
We
pictures.
could, yeah.
So,
Do you want to just go back to the
the
shortstop?
guy we traded for
Yeah.
Tyone, what was his name? He would have been on this list at the time. The guy, we would end up with the Angels. Nate.
Tyone. Wait.
Who did we remember? We got Andy Rodriguez and we got the pitcher. What was his name?
Oh, Rowanzi.
Rowanzi Contreras. Jake Bell's frozen. Rowanzi Contreras would have been on the list.
Wait.
Sorry, I disconnected for a second. All right.
Okay,
Rowanzi?
Rowanzi. We said Rowanzi.
Rowanzi, yes. He was actually, they felt he was going to be the ace.
Was Mitch Keller? Is Mitch Keller on there?
Mitch Keller, they had him as the number 5. Yep.
That's actually disrespectful. That looking back now.
Yeah.
Was
Dude, I'm literally I'm not even.
Was Ashcraft in the organization yet? Who is the shortstop that I'm
The
forgetting?
shortstop was Leover Peguero.
That's a disgrace on my end. That is,
all
I
right.
was
That's
so
a
high
collective
on him.
disgrace.
So the
I
other
was.
guys, and I'll pull it up. So the closer is interesting. It was Jared Jones. They thought Jared Jones would be the
He
closer.
was in the organization at 2020.
Yeah, they drafted him in 2020. And then the other starting pitchers were Mike Burrows,
All right.
Quinn Priester,
Okay, these are
and the topic of discussion for today,
Carmen
Carmen
Mlodzinski.
Mlodzinski. Yep.
He was a first-round pick, supplementary
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep. So that's their projections.
Oh, there you go. So that was, I gotta be. I've been thinking about other. My brain was not. I was not even operating. But very fun exercise, Jake Bell. I'm gonna have to edit some of that. Jake Bell coming in and leaving and coming back.
Yeah.
A disorganized segment, frankly, a disgraceful segment for me and Peyton not knowing Peguero.
I'm proud of my Travis. How do I pull
That was
Travis
great.
Swaggerty and
Swaggerty and Matt
forget
Frazier.
Leover
I know.
Peguero?
I thought because I thought Matt Frazier would be the one like, oh yeah, you guys won't.
Well, he
go.
was saying Matt, and Matt, like, Frazier was
Yeah.
the guy who came to, but I didn't think, but he was like a second baseman, wasn't he? Or he was an outfielder.
He was an outfielder, yeah.
He was an outfielder, but, all right, that'll do it, everybody, for episode 74.
I'll say that breaking news: the Nationals executive over the Trevor Williams situation let go after hidden
wow.
camera videos surfaced.
All right,
Anyway,
there you
good
go.
end.
Thank you, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media. We'll see you next week. Episode 74, We Are Family, Pittsburgh Sports Podcast.